Here, the reemergence of organized criminal gangs in various parts of the country has sent shockwaves through both security agencies and local communities. These gangs, linked to violent crimes such as extortions and killings, are now allegedly being propped up by politicians ahead of the 2027 general elections. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua recently made a grave claim, alleging that one of the deadliest criminal gangs in the country is making a dangerous comeback. However, his political opponents have quickly dismissed these allegations as baseless. Tonight, on this special report, TV47 investigates why these claims are raising alarm bells in regions once plagued by such gangs operating with impunity. But be warned, some of the testimonies you will hear are disturbing.
World all over, many governments have struggled to contain illegal and outlawed groups. Across Africa, such groups have caused pain in Nigeria, Niger, South Africa, Sudan, Ethiopia, and far away in Haiti, where the Kenyan government has sent its police officers to contain the Jimmy barbecue-led gang.
Members of the public in this country, they are very good. They interact with us each and every day, and they give us information concerning the movements of each and every gang around. And when we get the information, we act promptly.
Closer home, in Kenya, the atrocities caused by illegal gangs spread far and wide across the country. From the Nyanza region, where violence was undertaken by an illegal group such as the Taliban, the coastal region, residents of Mombasa and its environs have had to undergo the wrath of Wakaliwao and MRC gangs, while in Kisii, Sungu and Chinkororo gangs gave locals sleepless nights. Not forgetting Group 40 from Dandora, who held Nairobi residents by the collar. The famous Mungiki terrorized sections of Mount Kenya region.
We have known of a lot of terror. We have known of a lot of pain. We have known a lot of atrocities committed by this group. Bodies of citizens of Kenya being dismembered, heads being thrown up here and there from various places of the Republic of Kenya.
Most of these groups, as we introduced, that their activities, they violate the law. They thrive in terrorism and violence.
In Kenya's central region, the majestic Mount Kenya stands. Rivers fed by the glaciers of the mountain snake through the land, providing life and sustenance to the land and its inhabitants. The surrounding highlands, where extensive tracts of land are filled with coffee and tea plantations. The view from these highlands is nothing short of breathtaking, but on this land lives an undying, chilling memory, the Mungiki menace. Mention the name Mungiki, and for those who have drunk from their cup of wrath, they will jump out of fear. In the outskirts of Karatina town in Nyeri County at the Nyeri-Kirinyaga border lies a silent village, GOtv. The village, situated top of the lush greeny highlands, is majorly inhabited by tea farmers. Crisscrossing the area, you will encounter people who are warm and welcoming. However, utter the word Mungiki and everyone goes berserk. Uniquely, the majority of the people in GOtv are women, adding to the distinct character of this village. Albeit GOtv being a serene village, it is a haunted village. On April 21st, 2009, this village woke to the gory news of 29 men hacked to death by members of the outlawed Mungiki sect. Tragic.
Kila mtu wote walikuwa wamekatwa hapa na ilikuwa deep, kwa hivyo wengi walikufa ni bleeding, hawakupata usaidizi hiyo that night.
All I could remember was Sami, and I didn't understand what did she say. Later I came to realize Mboragira is they have killed my Sami, the husband now. I think they were barely a year married.
Wanaume walibaki ni wazee, na wazee waliisha. Vijana wenye walibaki ni sisi, wenye we can now tell a story of what happened.
The memories of the dreaded night of April 20th, 2009 are still fresh in their minds. Our pursuit took us to the homestead of Margaret Kanini. Kanini to date holding on to this pixelated photo as the only memory she was left with.
He was very bright, genius. Alikuwa mwerevu sana.
Kanini recounts on the fateful day on a Monday before he was hacked to death by machete-wielding Mungiki sect members who attacked Gathaithi village in the dead of the night. Was the day that the 18-year-old Form 3 student was to move in with her at her place.
Tulikuwa tumeongea naye mchana, juu mimi nilikuwa pande ya barisho na huku chini. Kanipigia akaniambia, sister vyenye huku kumekaa, mimi nadhani nafikiria nitoroke nikuje nikae kwako, juu hata study siwezi fanya juu ya vurugu yenye iko huku, hata mtu hana amani, ujue kama mtavamiwa, watu wanakaa na oga. Nikamwambia haina shida, wewe utakuja. Akaniambia wameitwa na wameambia watapanda huku juu kunaitwa Kigala. Nikamwambia ni sawa, wewe enda, ukiona nafasi utoroke utakuja kesho asubuhi.
Unknown to Hesbon Muremi, joining other men in a night patrol which had become a routine in a bid to protect the village from the Mungiki, was to be his last day to be seen alive.
Kusikia taarifa ya Gathaithi, mimi nilisikia kwa radio asubuhi. Sasa ndio nilichukua simu nikapigia mama. Kitu saa 2 ndio mama alisika simu, tukaongea na yeye. Akaniambia, nilisikia mkiongea na brother yako atatoroka akuje kama amekuja. Nikamwambia hapana, hajafika. Kama alitoroka hajafika. Wacha tugoje kufike saa 5 tuone kama atakuwa amefika. Kaniambia huku mambo yameharibika, watu wameuliwa sana.
Muremi will add to the number of the 29 people killed by Mungiki on the tragic night of April 21st, 2009 in Gathaithi, Mathera, Nyeri County, infamously referred to as the Mathera Massacre.
Ndio nilichukuana na rafiki yangu tukaenda Karatina. Sasa si ndio niliingia mochare. Nikapata wamelazwa chini. Sasa ulikuwa unaingia unatazama, ukifahamu mtu wako unawaambia. Ndio niliingia huko ndani kabisa, alikuwa bali kabisa. Nikampata, alikuwa amekaa, mimi niliona alikuwa amekatwa hapa kwa mguu hapa, alikuwa na upanga hapa, alikuwa amekatwa hapa na hakuwa na hivi mkono lakini nilitaka kujua kwani ile afika amekufa ni wapi alikatwa. Sasa ilibidi nimpindue kichwa. Sasa nikapata deep cut hapa, walikuwa kila mtu ni wote walikuwa wamekatwa hapa na ilikuwa deep.
Yards away from Kanini's homestead, Philip Waweru is among the few men who can be spotted in this village. Together with Robinson Wambete, they are among the lucky ones who have lived to share the chilling ordeals of that night, where almost all male persons were hacked to death. Waweru and Wambete lost their fathers on that night.
Hapo saa 7, saa 8 usiku, we had tulisikia kama wanajeshi how the troops march pa. Hii ilikuwa timu ya patrol ya usiku. Hii hawakuwa Mungiki, ilikuwa patrol kukuja to make sure that the villages are well secured, well safe, because they were securing, and it was a group. Ilikuwa ya group of men, so there were no women, there were no children. Walikuwa wanaanzia from that pale top, wanaingia kwa nyumba, wanachukua baba ama mwanaume mwenye ako kwa hiyo nyumba.
So people didn't know whether we were in or out. So when they banged the door, they said, oh, he's not around. And then they left. But someone else said, hey, mzee chomeke. What shook me, because I wondered, who is this want to burn us inside our house? And then Dad kind of woke up. He had this Swahili accent. He had lived in Mombasa for long, so what he answered was, goja naja. Then he left. I think that is the very last I ever heard of Dad. And the people left with him.
Unknown to the families where their heads of family had gone in the dead of the night, at dawn of Tuesday, cries, wails rented the once calm, silent village. The angel of death had descended on GOtv village.
Kwa barabara kuna zile trenches zenye upeleka maji ya mvua. The scariest thing that happened that night, kwa barabara, kwa uto tu trench, damu ilikuwa inatiririka from top mpaka kule chini.
Went running towards the main road, and I saw corpses. There was this huge man on the road with his scar, whatever, neck slit, and it's a man I knew. I was like, where? There are so many of us, and they were so chilling, because it was my first time to see a corpse. Then there are so many, and there were people I knew, and I think my brain just went away. They were dangerously cut, because many had cuts around here or here. Then there was, others were chilling. My goodness.
Wakati nilikuwa na
Frederick Kinyua attributes the killings in GOtv to a retaliation move by the Mungiki after a vigilante group in the Kagumo area of neighboring county Kirinyaga decided to put an end to the doings of the sect.
Nyumba unakuta imesalaundiwa na watu kama 25 ama 40, ikafunjwa dirisha, milango, wakaingia ndani. Mzee mwenye mboma akanjionea maajabu. Bibi ameangushwa na mama vijana, anafanywa raping, kama kuna wasishana huko raping, na kutokana hapo yule mzee akaambiwa, kwa sababu ya hiyo kazi mzuri tumefanya kwa mboma yako, utashota sisi. My friend. Sasa hawa hiyo group kukusanyika na ingine iliona ifanywe maajabu ya aina ile, ikasemekana hapana. Lazima tuwe na kitu naitwa clandestine movement ya kuondoa watu.
The vigilante group, locally referred to as Keda, which can be loosely translated as a group comprising of 9 individuals, was tasked to get rid of anyone suspected to be a member of the outlawed sect.
People are actually undergoing very difficult moments, because we used to have scenarios whereby wives, for example, my wife is raped in my presence by young boys. Old men were being accused of, in quote, disrespecting small boys who used to be in that sect by the name Mungiki, that they are lacking respect for them. If you succeed in your business, they used to charge a certain levy from our people. For example, if you are milk vendor, you pay a certain levy. You have a business, you pay a certain levy. We even have scenarios whereby we lost some of our people, some of our loved ones.
Then a dreaded group, Mungiki stopped at nothing and spared no one while undertaking their criminal activities. 60-year-old Samuel Ngushu, a resident of Karatina village in Kagumo, together with his family, have been on the search for their mother, who at the time of the disappearance was 97-year-old.
Alikuwa ameenda kwake pande ya Kagumo, na hakuwa anaenda kulala huko kuwasalimia halafu kurundi, lakini siku hiyo hakurudi. Ndivyo nasema after 3 days ndivyo nianza kujiuliza kwani mama alienda wapi.
It is feared the old woman had fallen prey to the blood-baying Mungiki sect members.
Hiyo nyumba ya Mjareti pale Kagumo ilikuwa imechokorwa, na sasa na ile walikuwa naita Vigilante ilikuwa imechokorwa. My wife akaja akaniambia pale Kagumo tuliona shuka kama ya mam. Akisema waliona shuka kama ile ilikuwa ya mam, ndivyo akili zilianza kurudi nyuma. Inawezekana. Ndivyo tukasikia ati kuna kofia ya mzee mwingine ilipatikana wapi? Ilipatikana huko. Tangu siku hiyo hatujamwona.
It is from these accounts that to date the name Mungiki, if mentioned, sends a shockwave of fear among many.
Mentioning Mungiki ni purely kifo. It's purely kifo. Kuwana with no specific reason. Mungiki to me it's dead. Nitanaeza chimbua shimo nijifiche.
Anytime I hear Mungiki would return, all I feel is I should leave the country.
Hata nikisikia kuna mtu wa Mungiki ameonekana mahali, mimi hujaa na woga. Tunajua vile walifanya, vile wanaweza fanya. Juu hao ni watu walikuwa wamejipanga sawa sawa.
And this is why claims by some politicians that the criminal gangs like Mungiki are regrouping are sending shivers in some parts of the country. Recently, a section of the political class raised fears of a resurgence of the Mungiki in the Mount Kenya region. Standing on a pulpit on the 4th of January 2025, former Deputy President, in his character of a self-proclaimed man who speaks the truth boldly, sounded an alarm.
History is repeating itself.
Gachagua expressing his reservations over a meeting held on December 31st, 2024 at Kabiroine Stadium in Nyeri, where former Mungiki leader Maina Njenga was the face of the gathering.
Government has been managing the economy. It has become unpopular. People have started saying no. The same gang leader ametafutwa na serikali na ameletwa hapa.
I have not been given any post by the government. They are those people who have been appointed to become CS in the Republic of Kenya, including Lee Kenyanjui, Kabogo, and other people in Nyeri, Mutahi Kagwe. So I am not causing any trouble, and I'm not being used by anybody. I'm my own person.
Despite saying that Mui huwa mwema, we know Maina Njenga, and we associate him with everything bad in this world.
Gachagua further alleging Njenga's presence in the Mount Kenya region signals a resurgence of the outlawed Mungiki sect through the help of the government.
Hiyo maneno ni mbaya na watu ya area hii hawezi kubali, na hiyo kikundi iliumiza watu wetu.
They don't understand what they're talking about, these leaders. They need to understand we don't have Mungiki, we have the people of Kenya. If there was a group by the name Mungiki, it existed so many years ago.
We do remember what we were taken through as a community, Kirinyaga, Nyeri, and the mountain, you know, and we cannot allow people who so purport to be leading such people. I even had him gloating over TV that he is leading people who are organizing bus stages. As whom?
Njenga will later storm a prayer meeting that Gachagua was supposed to attend, but sent his wife, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi. The meeting was organized by the members of their Corino group.
Kulikuwa na vijana, sijui walikuwa wametoka wapi. Ukichukua video ama picha, walikuwa na kunyang'anya simu, wanaenda gallery kila pahali, wana delete hizo picha zote na video, alafu wanakurudishia simu. Sasa hiyo ni vibaya sana. Watu kuja kwa maombi, kama hutaki kuonekana kwa video ama kwa picha, kwa nini umekuja kwa hiyo maombi?
However, a section of the legislators from the Mount Kenya region hold a different opinion to the recent happenings.
It's regarding Gachagua who's bringing that name. It is him. He said that I mean, he doesn't want to be, when he has people who are opposing him, he says people are Mungiki.
I wouldn't want any leader to generalize and call people Mungiki, because who is Mungiki? We will cause disturbance in this region when we start calling people Mungiki. It is a politically irresponsible, lack of political hygiene, and it is also being the dishonest of the highest order when we find somebody trying to parade these young people as Mungiki so that he suits his own political gains.
Despite the political bickering between the two factions divided by loyalty, the leaders are reading from the same script on one thing: the cup of wrath of the Mungiki.
Those memories are still raw in us. They are painful. Where you wake up one morning, you are burying 8 members of one family for no reason.
There are so many scars, and our people are still healing from the events of that year of the Vigilante and the Mungiki.
Emotions are very fresh, the words are very fresh, so we would want to avoid that discussion.
Gatundu South had its fair share of terrorism by young men. And for me, whether you call yourself Mungiki, Chinkororo, or you call yourselves, even if you come by a church and you call yourselves members of a particular church, whatever it is, crime is crime.
The Central Region Security Apparatus says it is monitoring the situation following this recent development.
This one should be taken in by all and sundry, that as a regional security team, as a county security team, we shall not entertain any misbehaviors by a group of young people or any group that will form up thinking that they have all the rights to interfere with people's lives. That one we shall not rest.
The former Mungiki leader, however, states he is determined to lead what he calls a peace caravan within Mount Kenya region, insisting he is a man of his own despite protest linking him to the fears of the regrouping of the outlawed group.
What they are talking about, they don't know. They don't even know Mungiki. They don't know what kind of a person they are talking about. If they are told to explain, can they explain? They don't know. So, what they are talking about Mungiki is imaginary.
Kenya previously has witnessed a spate of social injustices and criminalities orchestrated by legal criminal gangs and groupings. In 2009, 2010, 2016, government banned a total of 116 organized gangs, majority linked to political activities, in response to brutal murders, extortion attributed to them.
According to the National Crime Research Center, has established statistically that these groups have exponentially grown. You can imagine the growth of 128% per year since 2010.
When they come into formation, when they come into executing their plans, we see there is disturbance of peace, there is fear amongst the common people, there is suspicion among the citizen and the political class, the leadership class. And that creates a very clear divide between everybody in the country. We start viewing each other differently.
According to a study report on organized gangs in Kenya 2012 by the National Crime Research Center, organized criminal gangs have a strong influence on the country's political system. Politicians support the gangs in various ways in return for intimidation of opponents, protection, campaigns, and votes.
These sects will come up for a particular reason, and the reason would be a particular political class of persons want to drive a certain agenda, and they want the citizen of a particular region of the country to go that direction.
Information on every group, there is a goal to be achieved.
Government has been urged with the fear of the resurgence of Mungiki. This is a prompt for action by security apparatus where, like before, illegal groupings are not only a societal matter, but also a threat to national security.
The government is charged with the responsibility of maintaining peace and order within the republic or within our boundaries. Then it must be the government through the Interior Ministry going after these persons who are planning themselves along this direction to disturb our peace and placing these kind of persons behind bars.
Our politicians don't need to hire goons or young people to protect them. We have adequate number of police officers. So long as they notify us about their meetings, I want to assure all of them that we'll always provide security coverage to all of them, and we'll make sure that order, law and order prevails.
The country has had its own fair share of the pain inflicted by outlawed groups. And as the country gears towards the 2027 general elections, the government has been challenged to ensure the security and safety of every Kenyan. Mwege William, TV 47.